Welcome to another entry in the Disability Diaries, a disability vlog that explores the world of disabilities, their disability rights, disability issues, what's good in the world of disabilities, what's bad in the world of disabilities, disability advocacy, disability news, local news, personal experiences, and so much more. I'm Hope, and I'm an individual with mild autism. Today, we will be talking about the infamous Dhar Mann, who thinks he's a superhero, but we all know he's not. Especially about when it comes to people with disabilities, especially when it comes to people with autism. Especially when it comes to his latest video about people with disabilities. Mean girl rejects an autistic girl. She lives to regret it. So, I saw a bit in August the Duck's YouTube video, and by the way, I have to say a massive thank you to August the Duck for inspiring this video and any future Dhar Mann videos about people with disabilities that come along after this one. His channel is linked in the description below. He critiques Dhar Mann videos, and I have to say his criticism of the Dhar Mann videos really opened my eyes to how crappy his videos are. I'm sorry for the language, but it's the truth. Now, if you think that Dhar Mann is a good person, you're going to want to click away from this video because Dhar Mann has never shown to be a good person. Dhar Mann is not the hero everyone thinks that he is. He's not a superhero. The morals in his videos are bad. The videos that he makes are bad. And and today, what I'm going to be talking about is how he portrays people with autism in his latest video about people with autism. Because I only watched this one prior to recording it for research. I didn't watch the other ones because, watching that first one really made me sick as a person with autism. So I'm going to provide you guys with a brief summary about this particular video from what I've seen. So, in the video, there is an autistic girl named Heavenly. I'm not even going to question that. I'm thinking who names their kid Heavenly? But, you do you. And, you can name your kids Heavenly or Joyful or whatever you want. It's your choice. I'm not going to say that. I think it's a very pretty name, and I think that it is a very, very, very lovely name for a baby girl. But they could have just picked any other name. They could have used my name. Anyway, so there's also a mean girl called Tessa, and I think she's neurotypical. So she doesn't have autism, so she's the mean girl in the video. So Tessa finds out who this girl is. We are introduced right off the bat that she is on the spectrum. And later on in the video, after we are introduced to our two protagonists, our protagonist and antagonist, their antagonist, I should say, because she does learn a lesson in the end, obviously, as these Dhar Mann videos attempt to show. So in the math class that Tessa and Heavenly are in, the teacher is well, there's going to be a math competition. And hearing her say that actually brought me back to a point in my life where I actually competed in the math competition. And before I gallivant into the rest of the video, I'm going to tell you that story now. In the video, it mentions it goes to a school-wide competition, but I actually competed with my class, and this was in-class competition. If you're not from the United States, and if you're not aware of standardized testing, we have standardized testing in this country. And in Florida, we had the FCAT at the time, we had the FSAs. And I remember being in the ninth grade and having to take the Algebra 1 EOC. And because by high school there were EOCs, end of course exams, not, like entirely FCAT, although it was considered to be a state exam. And I remember it was similar to this video. We were paired up with a partner, and I was paired up with a boy named Davis. And he was one of the sweetest boys, and we ended up winning the competition. We ended up winning, and all I got was like a container that was like a popcorn container you could get at the Dollar Tree. It had 3 packs of microwave popcorn, my favorite flavor of popcorn, movie theater butter. It had candy. It had sunflower seeds. I went to school in the middle of nowhere, and people really like sunflower seeds, so it had some soda in there. I think it had a gift card. I think my algebra teacher gave a gift card, but yeah, but that was pretty much my experience with math competition. But galvanizing back into the video, because sorry, I had to really talk about that because that's what it reminded me of. There's a line in this particular scene that actually made me angry, that actually made me feel angry as a person with autism. So Tessa is paired up with Heavenly, and Heavenly says, "I'm good at math." So to me, that sounds like my first red flag with this video is that Dhar Mann wants us to think that because Heavenly is not only autistic, she is good at math, and that's particularly not true. I'm not good at math at all. I was struggling when I was younger. I was struggling in school. And the most I would get is a C or a B in a math class. But that wouldn't even be anything that could change that, because when I was in college, I was put into not even my first year. I was put into remedial math classes my first year. And while everyone else was doing so well on their math exams, I failed. I apologize for the hiccups. I just woke up, but I always failed my math tests in college. I always failed my exams, and I ended up failing the first remedial class. And then I was put in another remedial class the following semester. And then I kept failing in that. My professor wasn't even that good versus the one who actually supported me and treated me like an individual. While this guy didn't even treat me like an individual. So I went in and I had gone to get my math requirement removed, and I was successfully able to. You can do that in the colleges. You need a doctor's note. I'll elaborate further in the future video, but what Dhar Mann is implicating in this video, what he's implicating about people with autism, is that they're apparently good at math. So I'm a person who's actually autistic, Dhar Mann. I'm not good at math. Your facts are extremely wrong. Not every person with autism is good with math. And I'll elaborate further as we go down. So then Tessa, she says something to Heavenly, I forgot. It has to do something to do with Down syndrome, when Heavenly says, I don't have Down syndrome, I have autism. Like, geez, bro. You can tell if this girl has Down syndrome. See, people with Down syndrome have, the thing with their eyes, and I'm not trying to be disparaging towards people with Down syndrome, but, you know, if you've ever seen a person with Down syndrome, you'll know what they look like. I've known several people with Down syndrome. And they have an extra chromosome. This girl obviously doesn't have an extra chromosome. And she says, I don't have Down syndrome, I have autism. That's when Tessa says, autism, Down syndrome, they're all the same. Slow. And at that point, that's what made me really angry. These are videos being made to teach people morals. These are videos being made for people to learn a lesson, a life lesson even. I don't like the fact that Dhar Mann is out here making videos about people with disabilities and having his mean girl characters say that all disabilities are the same. That makes me angry as a person with a disability. It makes me angry even as a person with mild autism. And I don't like that portrayal. I don't like the way that she's makes it sound like all people with disabilities are the same because they're slow. I mean, would you say that about all Asians being smart because they're Asian? Would you say that about other people? And that's a whole other black hole to get through. That's a whole other rabbit hole, I should say. A whole other rabbit hole to get through. And so, getting back to the video, there's this scene later in the school day where Heavenly is she's like, I'm good at technology. As happened to me a couple months ago. And Tessa's straight up rude to Heavenly. And she screws up her project and loses her project. And Heavenly just wanted to help. But again, you're showing that people with autism are good at technology. Now, I'm going to elaborate on this real quick. Not all people with autism are good with math. Not all people with autism are good at technology. Look at me. I suck at math. A lot of people with autism may be good at math, but they're bad at spelling. A lot of people with autism are really good at drawing and doing things and doing graphic design and stuff. Like my friend Nadia Joanne, who I mentioned in my JoJo Siwa video. She's really good at graphic design. But they might be bad with music, or they might be good with music and dancing and singing, and they have a strong voice for it, and they're perfect for it. Like my friend Jason Pleasant, who I also mentioned in my first video. And might not be good at graphic design, and they might need somebody to help them with video thumbnails. Some people with autism might be good at reading and writing and spelling and telling stories and doing all of that. Some may be good at vlogging, but some may not be able to do math properly. They may not be able to do videos because they have an immense thing of stage fright, and some may not be able to sing, but they can draw. And some people with autism might not be good at sports, but then there's someone who's really good at writing stories and stuff, or they might be really good at sports, but then when it comes to writing stories and doing things like that, being creative, they're not good. Not saying that all people with autism aren't creative. I'm sure a lot of you are creative. But my point is that this kind of representation of showing a character with autism being good at math because she's autistic, which I know he specifically didn't say, but it made it look like that he was good at math, that this character is good at math because she's autistic, because that's a stereotype that's put around people with autism. And it's typically like, oh, they must be good at science because they're autistic, they must be good at math because they're autistic. And so my cat is back. Say hello to JJ, everyone. Now, at the time I'm recording this, my parents came in and they were like, we need you to take JJ for a little bit. Please, he's driving us crazy. Just kidding. We love JJ. He's our little emotional support baby. And he is somebody I would never trade for anything. And, he just wanted to be involved. He just wanted to be involved in the video. So, those meows you probably heard, that was him. That was him. That was him. He's going to be a good boy, I hope. I hope he's going to be a little good boy. I hope he's going to be a little good boy. So essentially, what happens in the rest of this video is Tessa is relentlessly cruel to Heavenly, and in the art class they are making they're making popsicle stick houses. What kind of a high school is this? No, they're in an art class and they're making popsicle stick houses. That's kindergarten. That's literally kindergarten. Like, what does Dhar Mann think that high schoolers do? I was in high school. I'm a person with a disability. And let me tell you, half the time when I was in high school, they didn't do that. Especially in middle school. I went to an arts middle school. I did 2D art. And my friends did 3D. And they didn't do anything like that. So, essentially, anyway, getting back to that, they're trying to build the foundation of a house. And Tessa just relentlessly treats her badly. She treats Heavenly badly. Even though Heavenly is trying to help. Like, what the heck is wrong with this video? I am a person with autism. And just seeing a character, even if it is to teach a lesson, even if it is to teach a lesson about people with disabilities, it's not okay. It's not right to see this in a video, especially a YouTube video, and I don't think it's okay. So later on in the day, Tessa goes back to her mother's diner, and Tessa learns that her mother has hired somebody with autism, a man named Ralph. And Ralph is portrayed not only to be autistic, but really good at making food art and being good at math. Again, not all people with autism are good at math, as I stated earlier. So Dhar Mann ends up coming on at the end, and he's like, oh, Tessa started being nice to Heavenly, which is all fine and dandy. And they make it to the school math competition, and the sudden death question is, what is 20% of 12.44? To which Tessa answers 2.488. My math, again, not good, not that good, but, bear with me. It took me a couple tries to actually get it and to actually know what it was, what the answer was before making this video, obviously. And they win all because of Heavenly's help and because of the advice given to Tessa by Ralph. And she ends up meeting Ralph, who turns out to be Heavenly's father. So, what did we learn today? You know, this video was extremely ignorant about people with autism. It was extremely ignorant. And this isn't the only Dhar Mann autism video. This is one of many. You know, as August the Duck said in his video, Dhar Mann is notorious for not repeating the same topic, but repeating a topic that's about people with autism and having characters with autism. And another thing about that, Heavenly is not played by a person with autism. You know, I have to applaud her for trying. I have to give her a pat on the back for trying, and I think that she did a great job acting wise, but I don't think her portrayal as a person with autism, I don't think Dhar Mann's portrayal of people with autism is a positive portrayal of people with autism. And as a person with autism myself, I don't feel like it represents people in the autism community accurately. You have shows like The Good Doctor. The Good Doctor does not portray people with autism in a positive light whatsoever. It does not portray people with autism in any sort of positive thing. It portrays them as smart geniuses, and that's extremely toxic to those with autism. That's extremely toxic to people on the autism spectrum, and I don't think that is a positive representation of people with autism. It's not a positive representation of people who are autistic. I don't think that videos like this should exist. And I think of videos that teach people to treat people with autism decently, to teach people that people with autism, they aren't just smart at just math and technology and science and all that. That we need to be better individuals, and we need to at least do something where we don't treat people with autism not only poorly, but to treat people with autism like, you know, they're human beings. So I'm going to end this video with a message to Dhar Mann concerning this video. I've tried to do it before, but he's here. Disclaimer, JJ is not a problem only when I'm trying to record. But he's playing with the hairbrush, so I'm pretty sure it won't be that much of an issue. So if you like cats, there you go. There's your cat. So, Dhar Mann, I am a person with mild autism. I have never liked your channel. I have never liked your content. I have never liked you. You don't pay your actors. That's why your actors went on strike. That's why they spoke out against you. And reason why I don't like your content, I think it's cringe. I don't think your videos teach morals. They inaccurately portray situations and sometimes have even more ridiculous situations. I mean, really? You're trying to be a morals channel and you aren't teaching any morals. You're just making people suffer. You're just inaccurately playing people with disabilities, including people with autism. And I need to say this as a person with autism myself. I don't think it's okay to have this good doctor, savant portrayal of people with autism. The portrayal on The Good Doctor, I can tell you as a person with autism, it's bad. It portrays people with autism as being good at science and math and being really smart. That's a very, very, very toxic mindset about people with autism. You know, I'm making tests, good at math, good at technology. You stepped into a stereotype. Like, you literally made Heavenly a stereotypical autistic person. And another thing, you had an actress who wasn't autistic. Now, I'm not trying to be mean towards the actress who played her. I think she did a wonderful job, but you could have just auditioned a person with autism, an actor or actress with autism, and you could have accurately portrayed autism. But no, you chose somebody who doesn't have autism, which is one of the many issues I have with this video. And you chose to not portray autism as something where it's like, you know, it's a spectrum. Now, not every person with autism is going to be good at math. Not every good person with autism is going to be good at technology. Not every person with autism is going to be in high school. Now, so, you know, it's a spectrum disorder, which means it is something that affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Take me for instance. I am mildly on the autism spectrum. So that means I can do things in normal situations. Sometimes I'll have sensory overload, but I won't have a meltdown. Some people on the autism spectrum, they are able to function in society, but occasionally they'll have sensory overload or they'll have a meltdown in public. Some people with autism cannot communicate at all. They need a special communication device. They might need an iPad or something like that. And what makes me angrier about this video is that you never consulted a team of autism experts or a team of people with autism to come in and tell you, well, here is this thing about people with autism. You just relied on knowledge that pop culture typically feeds to people with autism that, you know, shows, oh, they're good at math, they're superheroes, so they must be super geniuses. And let me tell you that that's not a positive mindset about people with autism. That's not a positive way of thinking. That's not a positive portrayal of people with autism. That is not a positive portrayal of the autism spectrum in any way, shape, or form. That is not in any sort of way positive or in any way, shape, or form that's a accurate portrayal of people with autism. And as a person with autism myself, I have to say that that's not okay. There are other ways to portray people with autism positively, but that's not it. Your video, while it includes a girl with autism, which that's the only thing I'm probably going to applaud. But I did not like your video. I do not like your channel. I did not like anything that you do. You inaccurately portray people with autism because all you care about is money. All you care about is views. Your viewers are brainwashed. When they watch that video, they are going to think that people with autism are smart and they are good at math and they're all good with science and building popsicle stick houses, which, have you ever been at a high school, Dhar Mann? Because that's not what high schoolers do. Do you know about high schools? There's that video online that shows that a Cocomelon like thing by Snoop Dogg. I forgot what it was. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, and that's not an accurate portrayal. Telling people that people with autism are good at math and they're good at technology, that all of them are good at technology and math, is not good. That's a very, very, very negative mindset. You could have shown Heavenly being really good at writing but struggling with math, and Tessa making fun of her for being bad at math. And another thing, I know the whole point was to teach a lesson, but you did not have to show this mean girl character as an ableist, because I found the line about Down syndrome and autism being the same to be a very ableist statement. That's not true. People with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome, and they look different. So if she had Down syndrome, she would look different. Unless I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, guys. And people with autism, they don't have any physical characteristics. Like, do you really think that people with autism need to physically prove that they're autistic? Because last time I checked, I don't have to prove anything to you to prove that I'm autistic. You can't see my disability. You can't see it. I have a mental disability. It doesn't mean that I don't have a disability. It doesn't mean that, even though I'm not in a wheelchair or using a walker or anything like that, or even a mobility scooter, it doesn't mean that I have a physical disability. I have a mental disability. I don't have to prove anything to you. I don't have to prove anything to you as a person with a disability. I don't have to prove anything to you as a person with a disability. I don't have to show you, well, hey, this is my disability. You can just see it. I can just tell you, and then, that's the end of that. And you don't have to have your non-disabled characters treat people with disabilities, including people with autism, horribly. You do not need to show your characters treating people with autism like they are nothing, like they are not anything. What my point to you is that your video did not represent people like me. It did not represent people with autism like me. Your videos don't represent people with disabilities well. They represent literally nothing. And you're just doing this for views. You're doing this for money. Even though you're already a rich billionaire. There are people out there who have spoken out against you and you have tried to silence them. Well, you won't silence me. I'm speaking out about this as a person with autism. I'm speaking out about this because I am someone who is literally a person with a disability who feels as if this good doctor, savant representation of people like me, above people with autism, that's not okay. It's never been okay. It's never been anything that you can write home about. It's not anything that is a good, positive thing about people with autism and other disabilities, and it's not anything where it's like a good thing. And Dhar Mann, I'm telling you, as a person with a disability, on behalf of the disability community, on behalf of the autism community, I am calling for you to talk to people with autism. Reach out to the disability community. Reach out to people on the spectrum. Reach out to your audience. Ask them, what do you think portrays people with autism? And make that into a video. Instead of spending all of your time and effort making a video with an obvious stereotype. I'm sorry, it took me a second. With an obvious stereotype of a person with autism. And that's what you did. You stereotyped people with autism. You did too many stereotypes. I couldn't take you seriously after that moment. I was like, I don't believe what I'm seeing. I don't believe that someone like you who is trying to make videos with morals and teach people lessons and be the Jesus of Nazareth of our day, I don't think you're trying hard enough. I don't think you're trying hard enough to be a role model towards people with disabilities, or anyone for that matter. Especially the way you treat your actors, especially the way you show people with disabilities, that you inaccurately portray them. And your other videos, they're bad. Especially these ones with people with autism. So I need to say this as a person with autism. You need to do better. You need to do better for the disability community. You need to do better for people with autism. Talk to people with autism. See how they view autism. Because autism, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum disorder. And having this stereotype in the majority of your videos is not okay. So, Dhar Mann, if you do end up seeing this, you need to do better. And anyone who is watching this and is watching Dhar Mann videos now, unfollow him. Because obviously he's not a good person. Dhar Mann has never been a good person. You can see how he treats his actors. So definitely you can see how he treats people with autism. And how he portrays people with autism and people with disabilities. Creates these ridiculous storylines, and they're toxic. It's like the majority of the mindset in his videos are toxic, and that's not okay. That's not okay to portray in a video that's supposed to be teaching people lessons. So you need to make videos that teach people to treat people with autism nicely, show that people with disabilities deserve to be treated with more respect, to treat them with a lot more respect than to get this negative representation of people with autism and other disabilities. And it really does make me angry that there's a video out there that negatively portrays people with autism. And personally, as a person with autism, it does not portray people like me. It does not portray anything positive. It shows that you would rather have a lot of money and views because your motto is, we aren't just making stories, we're changing lives. Here's what I think of your motto. What it really is we're not just telling stories. We're inaccurately portraying people with disabilities. We're inaccurately portraying people with autism. We are creating stereotypes for people with autism and other disabilities. We are creating this atmosphere, this negative atmosphere. And that's what's wrong with the world and how people see people with disabilities. And you're just making it 10 times worse. by making content like this. And I don't think it's okay. And that's all I have to say to you, Dhar Mann. And that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I plan on doing a reaction to this video and other Dhar Mann videos about autism and other disabilities in the future. And I will let you guys know in my Instagram when that will happen. And I want to know from you guys, what is your overall opinion of Dhar Mann? Do you think that some of his videos do not represent people on the autism spectrum in a positive light? Do you think that he needs to change the way that he makes his videos about people with disabilities? Do you think that there should be more content creators out there who accurately portray people with autism? If you like Dhar Mann, and if you feel as if his portrayal of people with disabilities is not a good portrayal, why? Tell me why in the comments below. And if you don't like Dhar Mann, tell me why, and also tell me why in the comments below, and elaborate and tell me about how you feel he treats people with disabilities and how he portrays people with autism. And I would love to hear your opinions about Dhar Mann, and I would love to hear what you think as a person with a disability, if you are a person with a disability, or if you're somebody who might know somebody with a disability. I would love to hear what you have to say. So make sure, if you have something to say, whether it's about the topic of this video or about how you feel about Dhar Mann, please leave a comment in the description below. And you can also follow me on social media. I have an Instagram. It is The Disability Diaries. That's The Disability Diaries. The with 2 E's. Disability Diaries. Which is also found in my email address. You can also email me your thoughts about this video and about Dhar Mann and about the way that he portrays people with autism and other disabilities. My email address is The Disability Diaries. That's The with 2 E's. At gmail.com. That's the with two E's. Disability Diaries at gmail.com. It's in the description below. Have to say a massive thank you to August the Duck once again for inspiring this video. His channel link is in the description below, and I'm going to end the video right here. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you again next time for another entry in the Disability Diaries. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.